Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to level up your English using a few simple but really powerful grammar tools. Seriously, by the end of this, your sentences are going to have so much more impact.
So let me just ask you straight up. Do you want to move beyond those basic sentences and start sounding a little more expressive, a little more fluent? Well, of course you do, and that is exactly what we're going to tackle today. Okay, let's just look at this. Here are two ways to say the exact same thing. The first one, it's fine, it gets the job done. But the second one, notice how it connects the ideas? It adds emphasis, and it just flows so much better. This is the kind of upgrade we're talking about. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why we even use these structures. Then we'll break down the two key formulas, so that and such that. After that, I'm going to show you a fantastic shortcut, and finally, we'll put it all into practice. Let's get right into it.
First up, let's talk about the whole point of this. These aren't just random grammar rules you have to memorize. They actually exist to make your communication way clearer and a lot more dynamic.
So these tools really do two main things. First, they basically crank up the volume on your words. They turn tired into really tired. And second, and this is just as important, they create this crystal clear link between a cause and its result. And that's huge if you want to sound persuasive, whether you're, writing an email for work or just telling a good story. This structure shows that relationship perfectly.
All right, let's get into our first tool. The so that formula is going to be your best friend whenever you want to add some real punch to an adjective or an adverb. And the formula itself, it's beautifully simple. You just pop so right before an adjective or an adverb, and then you use that to introduce the result. It's like the perfect little package for connecting a cause with its effect, all in one smooth sentence.
And here's a great pro tip for you. Using so is actually more efficient. You can go ahead and drop words like very because so already has that idea of intensity baked right in. It just makes your writing cleaner and more professional.
This is a perfect example of what I mean. The cause, I was very tired. The result, I couldn't finish my homework. The so-that structure just merges them into one single logical and really powerful statement. The tiredness caused the inability to finish the homework. See how that works?
But wait, there's more. So isn't just for adjectives. It also works great with words that describe quantity. Like many, much, few, and little, even when there's a noun right after. For instance, there was so much noise that I couldn't hear. It follows the exact same cause and effect logic we've been talking about.
Okay, let's look at our next tool, the such-that formula. Now, it's very similar to so-that, but it has a slightly different focus.
Okay, here's the key difference. With such, you're not just emphasizing an adjective, you're emphasizing the entire noun phrase. The formula is such, then usually a or an, followed by an adjective, and this is the important part, a noun. That noun is really the star of the show here.
Let's break this one down. The cause is, it is an amazing book. And the result, I have read it many times. When we combine them, we get, it is such an amazing book that I have read it many times. See how we're really emphasizing the whole idea of amazing book as one single unit? That's the power of such.
Okay, are you ready for a really cool grammar hack? We're going to look at how to reduce adverb clauses. This is just a fantastic way to make your writing sound way more advanced and a lot less repetitive.
So here it is, the golden rule. You can only use this shortcut if the subject is the same in both parts of the sentence. For example, in the sentence, while I was walking to class, I fell down, the subject I is the same in both clauses. That's our green light.
And the process itself is just two simple steps. If the clause has a be verb, like was in while I was walking, you just drop the subject I and the verb was. It becomes while walking. Easy. Now, if there's no be verb, like in before I go, you just drop the subject I and change the verb go to its ing form, before going. Simple as that.
All right, you've learned the rules, you've seen the examples, and now it's time to put your new skills to the test. Let's do a little practice together.
All right, go ahead and grab your magnifying glass, because it is time to play detective. We're going to look at a sentence that has a little mistake, and your job is to figure out how to fix it.
Okay, here's our first case. After doing my homework, I watched TV. Something's not quite right there. Take a second and think about that reduction rule we just talked about. What's the fix? And the fix is, after doing my homework, I watched TV.
Since the subject I is the same in both parts, we just drop it from the first part. We've already got the ing verb, so we're good to go. Case closed.
Now for the final challenge. Let's do the first one together. I'll read it out loud for you. My grandfather drives blank slowly that other drivers get annoyed. What do you think? Should it be so, such, so much? What fits?
The answer is so. And why? Because slowly is an adverb that describes how he drives. Remember our formula. So plus adverb plus that. It's a perfect fit. Now, I really encourage you to pause right here and try to solve the rest on your own. See how you do.
So, we've covered emphasis, cause and effect, and some awesome shortcuts. You now have the tools you need to build more complex, more expressive, and way more powerful sentences. The only question left is, are you ready to use them?